Hello everyone, this is Shijo Chandapillai, your favorite oncology hypnotherapist. I help people cope with death anxiety so that they can have a healing mindset and cope with whatever challenge they have in life and master their life. Today we're going to be talking about what are the sources or what are the things that influence people to think about death and create the anxiety that keeps them up all night or keep them inside a box all the time. So most of the times when I encounter or meet people who go through death anxiety is that always when we go into hypnosis, it's always related to some event that happened in the childhood. So what happens is that when one is a child, that's when they learn about how things work in the world. It will be the first time they encounter these events. For example, the McDonald's burger. That's something, that Happy Meal is the first time you have a burger, and then you make understanding of this food, right? So it's the same thing, like anger or crying or playing different toys. We make meanings out of all this experience. So when it comes to death, it's the same way. We make some understanding in our childhood. Most of the times when I have clients who struggle with extreme fear of death, what happens is that when we go into the subconscious mind, there's always some memories that the mind had to learn what death was and an understanding that the mind had to make about death. For example, I had a client, they saw their uncle pass away, or it could be somebody else, they were so little, everybody was so sad around them because it's the passing of a person, the person is dying, right? So this caused intense fear, or it could be like something they saw in a movie, like a horror movie. Or it could be something that, when it comes to religious mentality, oh, you know what, afterlife, there's going to be a punishment, there's going to be heaven, things like that, right? If you don't do good in life, then you're going to be in eternal fire, and that's going to be tormenting. So all these things, as kids, what kids understand more? Stories. When we explain science to them, they won't understand it. But when we talk about stories, or when they experience stories, there's a feeling that is associated. There's an understanding that is associated with it. And these are kept in a subconscious level where, you grew up with it. And then early on, anytime you encounter something related to death or dying, disease, accidents, things like that, suddenly these data will be pulled up by the subconscious mind, and an extreme fear is then caused, induced in your body, which induces a physical response of panic attacks, shortness of breath, palpitation, things like that. So what we have to understand is that, what are the sources of my fear? What is my understanding about death? So even with the death doulas, when they give people experience about, how the dying is, when they make it feel, oh, that's it? Wow, that was beautiful. I don't even know, when I experience it, I'm not even knowing about it, but I'm still there. It's a feeling, right? So the same way, once we understand that, death is something that can be in pain or cannot be in pain, it's also very beautiful. But think about it. A lot of people have this fear that death is painful. It's some sort of big pain that is going to be taking over your body. But a lot of times when it comes to I especially work with cancer patients, it's just a transition. Their awareness is there. Their body is just gently calming down, right? And then they just, slowly stop breathing, and then they just transition. Peaceful, gentle, calm. It's not like they say that they're under a lot of pain. It's just a beautiful transition. It's the same way. So, when we rewire these kind of data, We take out the old data that was so horrific, so bad, so painful, so traumatizing, beliefs about death. When we take that out and replace it with beautiful understanding, cherishing the moment, living life to the fullest, loving all the people around us, doing things for the people that we care, being somebody or becoming that person, whoever you want to be, doing all the hobbies, because now we're on a vacation. It's like a vacation mindset. I tell people who come up to me and tell me that, you know what, listen, there's no point, I'm not going to do anything because everybody's going to die at the end. This is what I tell them, right? I have this restaurant analogy. You go into a restaurant, you're going to be there for 2 hours just because, you have to, after you have your meal, and you have to leave. Instead of focusing on that, let's focus on that 3-course gourmet meal. Let's enjoy that meal while we're at the restaurant. Don't worry about what we're going to do after we get out of that restaurant. What we have is right now. Let's enjoy that. Let's talk. Let's cherish it. Let's feel the heartbeat. Let's feel the energy that is going through our body. So, when it comes to my program, what I do is we go into hypnosis. We find what are the things that is bringing up this fear, what sort of understanding that you made in your childhood, and then we're going to reframe it, and then we're going to transform one who's really struggling and focus on what do you really want to do instead of having that looping thought, I am going to die. Instead of that, we break away from it and we live our best version so that we can be a valuable asset to the people around us and love everyone. So this is Shijo Chandapillai signing off. If you have any questions, you can leave in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.